And so I went to the biggest slum in Africa. Bang. Went and bought a wife. I bought a wife in Africa for 5 cows.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. You think everything is going wrong in your life. Stop for a moment. Figure out the positive in it. The same thing as one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Welcome to the CEO DNA podcast, and here it's all about, getting all the knowledge out for all the founders, entrepreneurs, and especially the CEOs. And today I have somebody here who I'm super excited to talk to because he actually got kidnapped. It's actually true. He got kidnapped for 17 days. It was all over the news that a YouTuber got kidnapped, but he also talked to the biggest drug lords all over the world. And he's also a very, very, very good person. And so I had the pleasure to already meet him. Over 1.8 subscribers only on YouTube, but a lot more. Welcome, Arab.
Thank you. Yeah, very, very nice, warm introduction there.
Thank you, Addison. So what is, for you, a good DNA of a CEO?
High risk, right? That's what makes a good CEO, someone who's willing to, someone who's got a crazy risk tolerance. And you look at the great CEOs, they've all almost been bankrupted. They've all put everything they have on the line to create the companies that they have. High risk.
So high risk in what regard? That they say, we go all in, let's do something big? Or is it more like not only bold moves, but also have a bit of security to make sure that the bills can be paid at the end of the day? And
well, the spectrum isn't linear, right? The definition of high risk is so versatile. There's high risk of all-inning your money. There's high risk of all-inning your attention. There's the high risk of putting all your eggs in one basket. There's the high risk of doing what I do, the dangerous adventure travels. All of these are different forms of high risk. I mean, you always have some level of security in the funding. You try at least 6 months, 12 months, whatever it is, but that doesn't mean that it's not high risk. It's still high risk. You're still putting everything all in one basket.
yes, for sure. How did it start all with you? So you're now a very successful YouTuber. You can travel the world like you want to, and over 1.8 million followers just as subscribers on YouTube. How did it start?
Yeah, I started with gaming, and I was a professional gamer. And
What means professional? So
I got paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to play video games.
So people watch you like on Twitch.
Thousands of people would watch me on Twitch. Tens of thousands would watch me coach people, and then millions of people would watch me on YouTube after the Twitch stream.
Which games? Just for
Fortnite.
The fans? Okay, Fortnite. Okay.
Fortnite, and then entertainment as well, not just Fortnite. I've been in this game for a long, long time. And from there, just the world started opening up after COVID, and it was time to take everything I had made and take another risk and shift my channel from gaming to travel. And most people would recommend starting a new channel. I don't believe in that. I see my YouTube channel as an encyclopedia of my life, essentially. I would pay so much money to see what my father was doing at my age. My father was escaping war in Lebanon. He was carrying his entire village to safety. Like, those stories are so cool to hear from him. Imagine I could watch it in a vlog. And so that's why I vlog. I mean, I don't have kids yet, but whoever it inspires, I mean, those are technically my children anyway, right? I'm their teacher. But for my children, when I do have children, whether I survive longer or whatever, they get to watch their father go through the mistakes, go through the kidnapping, go through these things and show such little fear. Why? Because of the iman in Allah, the faith in God.
Right.
The letting go and trusting in the divine power. And that's kind of the core message that I preach, or I'm trying to preach now as I evolve more and I shift more to a loving and humanizing mentality. If you look back at the core of it, whether I was labeling it that or not, it was always that love, that willing to put the biases aside and going to the cartel and treating them without fear or hatred. Going to these Brazilian gangs and treating them with love and treating their community with love, even though I've been told that they'll kill me. And so that's the whole purpose of this travel. It's to search for wisdom.
Yeah, understood. But again, how did it really start? So you said, okay, you did the gaming.
Right.
Yeah. Then later on, you said, okay, I want to do a travel channel, but why, not going to, I don't know, Malibu and Maldives?
So it's very, very hard and expensive to go to Malibu and Maldives and then also get views, right? So many people can go to Maldives. So many people are going to Maldives. Who gets views on Malibu and Maldives? Nobody really on a long form YouTube video.
True. So it was more like a business decision?
Yeah. It's still, I mean, content creation has been the core purpose of my entire adult life. Right. It's about creating a everlasting, evergreen me. I mean, how do you multiply yourself? The only way to multiply yourself is content. So that's what it's for. It was a business decision. It's okay. I analyzed the market. Gaming was dying. Why? Gaming was dying because for 2 years, everyone was stuck in their room on the internet. Not only were they sick of being on the internet, but the developers of gaming they'd ran out of juice.
Right.
2 years, they're in overdrive, right? They're working overtime, 80 hours a week to pump out the best content. Every video game was dead. Yes. So this was the only option. I saw the opening in the market. I came through and I knew it would take me 12 to 18 months to figure it out. That's how long it takes for me to master anything, in a sense. There's always more you can do, obviously, but 12 to 18 months, bang. 14 months in, I figured out the formula. I go, this is the formula. I switched the formula and I start going to dangerous places. I saw an opening in the market there. I saw all these other travel YouTubers going to dangerous places and I knew I could do it better. I knew I could do it with more charisma and I knew I could go deeper because they're not charismatic. They just travel and they go to places and they use the title and it works. Because why? It gets a lot, nobody's doing it. Okay, well, let me do it better. And so I started doing it. First few times, it was a little bit scary. And then I just
Tell us about your first time.
First time was in the Cape Flats of South Africa, which is the most dangerous slums in the world. And I literally just Googled the most dangerous one and I went to it. I'm like, I'm starting off with a bang. And then I went and start filming, and some guy tries to fight me. It was a little intense. I didn't go super deep, but it was just the first taste of that adrenaline rush. And then I did it again. I went to Mitchell's Plain to a weed factory in South Africa, and that was really cool. There was also like it was good energy. It was the guy was positive. I was showing positivity. Everyone there was good energy. And why? Because I was learning the culture. I was learning their slang.
Yes.
I was willing to participate with them. And so it just got from there. I'm like, okay, I'm already in Africa. Let's go to Kenya. So I went to the biggest slum in Africa. Bang. Went and bought a wife. I bought a wife in Africa for 5 cows.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's quite interesting.
Are you jealous?
No, not yet. No. I think it's so interesting to understand, like, okay, you started it, really also, of course, you wanted to now kind of, have the traffic on your social media activities and so on. But later on, I had the feeling, especially because we both spent some time, we went hiking to the mountains for a day and had some great adventures together. I think your mission became bigger. So not only about, let's say, like just getting views, but also showing the other side, I had the feeling, and also showing that everything has 2 sides.
Yeah, so my mission became bigger kind of after my kidnapping.
Explain us a little bit where and what happened.
Yeah, so I got kidnapped in Haiti. Most people have seen the news. You've probably seen the news. YouTuber gets kidnapped in Haiti at some point, and that was me. I had long hair. My mission became bigger then because I realized it's not about views. What is views? Views is a number, okay, a fake number coded on a computer, on an internet machine that tells you your worth. And so all these YouTubers are chasing views. Why? Okay, because views helps your business and it makes you money, and sure, that's cool. But you're still looking outwards. After my kidnapping, I spent so much time studying philosophy, religion, looking for the answers, asking God for guidance. And then I came across this verse in the Bible where Jesus Christ says the kingdom of heaven is within you. Okay, well, if you also put that on a large scale and you analyze Hinduism and you analyze Islam, you analyze all these religions, they also say the same thing, but only if you're looking. Why? Because it's not who does God talk to, it's who listens. Right. And so my mission, and it took a lot of work. It took a lot of work. My last YouTube video I just uploaded yesterday is doing horrible, but it's one of my favorite videos. Why? Because it was the video that opened my mind. It's the video where I sat with a Hindu guru, and he really said some things. You'll see me laugh in the video. He said some things that made me laugh. When I laugh, it's not me laughing at him. It's me laughing at the realization that everything I've been taught is wrong.
Wow.
Right. And you can see I'm like looking in my eyes, and I'm dying laughing because I'm like, holy shit, this makes sense. And so my mission is no longer about views. My mission now is about spreading wisdom, spreading the word of God. Spreading the word of God isn't trying to get someone to convert to a religion. It's getting people to see the truth, right? And so how can I do that as a YouTuber? How can I spread this boring message, or this labeled as boring message? Well, it's by doing the crazy shit that I do and then putting the message in there.
Yeah, fully understood.
Intertwining it through the art, okay? So now my last video was me with a Hindu guru. It did horrible. My next video is me with the Taliban. It's going to go crazy. It's going to do millions of views.
Yeah.
What's the message in there? It's the humanity. It's the intertwining of the divine scriptures that I can toss in as I storytell this video that people have to watch. Why? Because no one else has ever recorded this.
Right. So you try to contact those sites or those leaders through social media or through contact persons. Then you travel there and you tell them kind of, hey, I also want to show your side. Is that correct?
No, I don't. I mean, there's the conversation there that I'm here with an open mind. I'm here to participate in the culture. That allows them to understand that I'm here to show their side. Everyone will always have a level of barrier,
yes,
of letting you in, but you have to earn your way up. And how do you do that?
But I saw videos. You have been in the living room. You were, drinking beer together and petting the dog.
No beer. No, beer's haram.
Okay, but I saw.
You're talking about the Haitian warlord.
Yes,
okay, I thought you were talking about the Taliban.
And so,
yeah.
Yeah,
well, it's funny because during the kidnapping, the only reason I was one of the only untouched people that this guy has kidnapped is because I showed pure love.
Right.
There wasn't when I say there wasn't a singular ounce of fear.
Right.
I mean, there truly wasn't. I was praying more for my mother than I was for me.
Oh wow. But that's when I looked at it, you said, hey, I'm drinking beer with them, I'm having cigars, so whatever they offered, basically you said, I'm doing it, I'm in, because you didn't, you want to show respect in a way. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, you need to understand the power structures as well, right? So
tell us a bit.
Yeah, you need to, when you're kidnapped by a Haitian warlord and there's 10 guys with guns, first of all, the first thing you need to do is what? Let go. You have to let go. You're not in control. Yeah, you still think in the little game of chess of survival, but you need to go back and think of what you've been taught in religious school, which is that in Christianity, they taught us that Christ will not give you a cross which you cannot handle.
Right.
What does that mean? If you take it out of Christianity, what does that mean? It means that you'll never have a challenge that you can't do, right? And so all these challenges are meant to give you some sort of lesson to teach you. And so as soon as I get kidnapped, that's the first thing that rolls through my mind. God bless that I was taught that as a kid. That's the first thing that rolls through my mind. So then what happens? I stop showing fear. If I'm not emitting fear anymore, what am I going to emit? I'm going to emit love. I'm going to emit love. Sure, there's kind of a little part of me that's kind of sly in survival. Like, I got to say the right words. I got to, but that's the Holy Spirit rolling through me, right? That's the tongues.
Yes.
So that's what it comes down to. It wasn't, we were playing a game of chess, but I was blessed by the divine to be able to handle that situation. I don't want to take everything that happened in my life up to that point led me to be able to handle that, right?
That. Right.
And I wouldn't be able to see that
if
I hadn't paid attention, if I wasn't willing to listen.
Yeah.
Because the lips of wisdom are only open to the ears of understanding.
100%. But you also had situations where you almost trained yourself to be fearless. In regard, I remember you telling me there was a dog sitting in front of you and they just want to scare you with it, and you start just patting the dog and said, hey, it's such a dog, because the dog didn't feel any fear from you, just pure love.
So here's the thing. Yeah, the warlord, he brought this massive dog, up to here. If I'm sitting, it's up to here, up to my chest. Massive dog. And I'm afraid of dogs normally. I conquered my fear of dogs right there. But why? I don't think he brought it to scare me. He was having fun. Like, okay, we actually like this guy that we kidnapped. We want to make money off of him. Let me bring him my dog and let me show him it. If I had thought that he had brought it to scare me, I might have been scared. But I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking purely love and gaming my way around the system there. And so it really is. It sounds crazy because it's considered lame. It's considered lame to be loving, right? In this world, especially on social media, hatred is what gets the most views. It's drama, it's hatred, it's whatever. Ever since I've started preaching love, a lot of my videos will get less views. Why? Well, I mean, I hadn't figured out how to do it in the right way. Now I have to combine it, like I said, with these massive series and then promote that message. It's funny because like promoting love is considered taboo. It's considered wrong to go and be hospitable and friendly with the Taliban.
Why do you think that's the case?
Because our world is built on hatred. So if you look, going back to scripture as well, if you look at all scriptures, Islam, Christianity, Hinduism, children are enlightened. The kingdom of heaven is for the children. Children don't have hatred. They don't have fear to each other. They don't look at you as black or yellow or whatever you are. They just love. We're taught fear and hatred. Everything we've been taught is like, everything you know is the no's that you've been taught. So someone told you no, and then you learned, okay, this is bad. Hatred. It's fear. It's a very fear-based society. Even the media that you consume is all fear-based. It's all negative. Why? Because that gets more clicks.
Yeah. It's so sad that actually, we humans like to have more the negative emotions than more the positive. Because one thing what I learned by watching all the videos is that you go through this with pure love. So basically, it's just like, you kind of you make yourself likable in a way, if I may say, to the Taliban or to. I think that's such an interesting approach. How do you do that? Because also so many CEOs are listening, and they also sometimes go, I don't know, in a negotiation war or something. And how do you do that?
Yeah. So first of all, it's required a lot of work. It's not something that's been
done like
easy,
this,
right?
yes.
Like it's required a lot of reading, a lot of forgetting what I know already. I want to shout out Luke Belmar.
Yeah.
A lot of CEOs who are watching this. Luke Belmar took me on a trip to Ibiza and helped open my mind up.
Nice.
And that's also where I was with Raul.
Yeah.
And that trip was very important for me. I would scroll my comments and I would see a bunch of hate, and he's like, "Why are you reading this? Close it.
Yes.
Hey, look where you are." And I was like, "Okay, you're right." And
so
even
number one, have the right focus.
Have the right focus. I mean, it's so easy. There's so much noise.
Absolutely.
There's so much noise,
day,
especially
yes.
now that we're all connected. It's not like building a company now is not like building a company used to be. Building a company now is opening Telegram and opening WhatsApp and opening, and you're swapping apps. Like, it's so easy. You just swipe to the next app and you're connected to 40 people.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, if there's CEOs watching, you want the right focus, buy a second phone. Buying a second phone helped me disconnect and realign my whole mental thought process. Why? I mean, this phone gets 60 people messaging it a day that want something from me. Not in a negative way, but it takes your attention away from the ability to learn, to evolve. Two, there's the you need to have that abundance mindset. A lot of people have, especially in business, is build your fences higher. People build their fences higher instead of what? Using the same resources to build your table longer. Now, I'm not someone who is as successful financially maybe as much as these CEOs that you've brought on. But what I do have is more freedom than probably all of them. I can go anywhere, whenever I want. I'm not attached to a certain country. Why? Because my business, my company is traveling the world and getting to do whatever. That's what I've intertwined with my life. And so with that, that's come how, I mean, like I said, at first it was views. I was focused on views, right?
Right.
I'm not focused on that. Even if my business is suffering this month or last month or before that, I'm not even looking at the profits and losses. I'm looking strictly at, have I built a core foundation, okay, inside of me enough that this is gonna, have I planted the mustard seed where it's going to sprout, okay? And those fruits that I'm going to bear from it are going to return everything. And they will. They will. Even like, let's say something's happening in Lebanon right now and I want to donate. And I donate and I don't tell anyone, I don't say anything. It hurts kind of. I'm like, okay, well, I kind of want to keep this. Why? Because this amount of money could do this for me. Okay, but there's also people without beds. And if you have the abundance mindset, you put out love, that good karma will also come back. I'm not that I want anything, but it's like just letting go. So building that abundance mindset is very tough because you have to let go of that. Like, okay, everyone's coming for my money. Everyone's coming for... You can get rid of all my money. Mm-hmm. I can go to $0 and I will be fine.
Yes.
Why? I can handle living in the middle of nowhere, Afghanistan. I can handle being here. Why?
Yes.
Because I have a solid foundation. I'm never alone, right? Yeah. The divine is always with me.
Yeah. You know, that's so deep also in this podcast here because, again, I mean, you mentioned the word success for CEOs. It's not only money, right? Success, I believe, is also about other elements. How is your connection to your kids, to your wife, to friends, to so much more, right. To your health, to your body, to your soul.
How do you treat people?
Yes, how you treat people. And I think that's something why I actually also started this, because I wanted to show that it has so many different elements. And I believe I actually met like 5 really billionaires in my life, and 3 of them told me when they visit me at home, Michael, I wish I would have your life. And I said, man, like you can buy all that 10 times. He said, no, but I see how you, handle.
You have an aura, Michael. You have an aura. It's real. It's real. It's I mean, everything is energy.
Yes, I believe so.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have an aura that's very magnetic, and I could tell that from the moment we met at that hotel entrance, where you came in with so much love. You got these bottles, Unicorn Society bottle. You just
true. Yeah.
It was just. Compared to everyone else, not that I'm comparing, but compared to everyone else, there was a magnetic aura, and you kept it throughout the day. You didn't ask anyone for anything. It was just abundant. That is attractive, right? That'll automatically attract people to want to work with you, want to do things with you. Why? Because you boost people's energy.
Yeah,
it's positive.
Yeah, thank you so much. But I think that's so important. And I think an important learning for everyone out there to, hey, let's do that. And I think we need this more. And from love, I really believe more love comes.
Yeah.
From hate and fight and war, more hate and fight comes. And I think that's something when you think that about in business, sometimes when I do like big discussions in business and saying, okay, should I now really hit the hammer or should I just bring in love? And every time I bring in love, I get in return also.
Yeah. Love. I mean, look, at the same time, building a business is tough, and building a big business 100%. Like you guys have is, I'm sure everyone's always coming for your throat. Everyone's trying to, here's the thing. Okay. Like, let's say someone sues you. Okay. Do I really want to go in a legal battle for 2 years? Do I really want to, like, how much, let's say someone scams me for $50,000. Okay. I could sue you. I could go into legal battle with you. Or I could just, and this sounds crazy. I know this is crazy, and this is not, don't take it as the best advice, but like, it's happened to me before where people have scammed things from me. Luckily, I had a dad who people had stolen hundreds of thousands from him, and he forgave them. Why? Because his peace of mind is worth so much more than this paper dollar.
True. I think it's interesting. I see that a lot. The Germans really like to, for example, get revenge in a way, or like say, okay, let's focus on that wasn't right, he should feel that. But I also believe there's an element of karma, of course, when you release certain things also from your mind without even saying, okay, something bad must happen to this person, not at all, but just getting this out of you and focusing again your energy on creating something better often creates much more exponential more than when you focus on, just how can I get him back?
I think so. And when I say this, I don't claim to be perfect.
Nobody.
Right? I say this as a work in progress, always.
Oh, of course.
Right? Even like I have these negative thoughts. I got to switch it in okay, don't do that. That's very... The other day I bought a bag from Tumi, okay, in China. And I went to return it the same day, 8 hours later.
Right.
Their return policy is 30 days. I went to return it the same day. They said they couldn't return it.
Wow.
They kept making excuses. They wasted 2 hours of my time. In my head, I was like, okay, I'm going to go make this viral Instagram reel about 3 ways to use your Tumi properly. And I was going to use it as a doormat in rain. I was going to use it as like a storage for like ramen noodles that you don't finish. Like if you don't finish your food at a restaurant, I'm just going to pour just ruin the bag completely.
Right.
And then I was going to use it as a campfire. Like I was going to burn it. If you're cold in the desert,
We could take it to our trip, yeah.
And I wrote this whole short. I wrote this very viral short. And then after I was done, I looked at it, I was like, this is very low vibrate. Like it's funny, but the intention is hatred.
True.
It was anger and so I stopped myself. I deleted it. I said, I'm not going to do this. And I'm using the bag. It's the bag right there.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, but
Let's put some noodles in it.
Just like something so simple like that, where I was angry and I went to do something out of hatred that it wouldn't have hurt the company, but it would have I was going to promote another company through it.
True. And
so it was a very negative intent action. And I stopped myself, and I'm glad I did. Why? Because I ended up spreading love instead of hatred. And so these things are always a constant work in progress.
But I think it's an important learning for everyone out there. Sometimes I also tell my team, just write things down. So when you have these feelings, just write them all down. And sometimes when you've written it down, maybe in an email to somebody you never send, maybe in a letter to somebody you never send, and maybe on a voice note to somebody you never send, but then you already kind of feel that, wow.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. Well, you feel it with the love. You feel it. Like there's sometimes you'll say things and I feel there's an energy. What is that? That's the divine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's an exchange of positive energy how do you think these Hindu gurus they heal people? They heal people. There's monks in Tibet that can heal you by touching you. Why? Because their cells are active. It sounds crazy if you've never done it, but if you felt it, you get it.
For sure. And I just can really motivate everyone out there to be really open-minded because, of course, there are always things in this world we cannot explain. But some things we can explain is when you now visit all those leaders, yes, drug lords and other ones, what can we CEOs learn from them? Because you kind of know now the Western world, you live in America, you are also often here in the Middle East, Dubai, Lebanon, and what do you think, what capabilities do they have to build up this empire, to have followers, to be the leaders they are?
Sure. Well, I'll pose a different answer to that same question. These leaders, the drug lord, the cartel bosses that I've met, the warlords that I've met, you realize that they're actually no different than the soldier. The hitman for the cartel that I interviewed is no different than the soldier fighting for a country who is going and killing innocent people.
Right.
They've been taught that these innocent people are the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the same way that this cartel guy is fighting for what he believes is right. And so the only difference here is who owns the narrative. It's just about the perspective. They're both the same thing, except one is for a country that has power over the world, and one is for a cartel that has power over their area. Both are slaughtering people. The one that we've perceived as good is actually slaughtering more people than the one that we've been told is bad, the cartel hitman. Well, why does the cartel hitman kill someone? The cartel hitman kills someone because he was born into a set of different stimuli that have turned him into who he is, and he believes that it's right. Why? Because he's fighting for his territory. When I sat next to him, there wasn't a fear that he was going to hurt me. Why? Because I was there asking him questions about love, talking to him about what his mother thinks of this. And you could feel like, yeah, my mother has no idea, but like she kind of knows, You could feel when I would ask him certain questions that there was like even a disappointment in him. He knew that some of the stuff that he does is wrong, right? But there is no difference. When you look at humanity, the way that I'm trying to look at it, that I'm actively working on spreading the message, what are borders? Borders are things that people created out of greed. Because we're no different. At the core, we're no different. Black, white, red, Muslim, Christian,
correct.
Humans. We all have a soul. when you look at borders, okay, so somebody came and grabbed a piece of land and said, okay, I own this, and then they drew it on a map, and then now they kill people for it.
Yes.
How does that make sense?
100%.
And then I charge you for it?
Yeah.
So even Dubai, we're in Dubai right now. You said these guys came on a piece of sand, and then they built an entire metropolis, right? The concept doesn't make sense. It's separating each other. Why? Based off of hatred and fear and greed and all these deadly sins. If you look at it, you know what the 7 deadly sins are?
Yes. But I think it's also that humans understood that, I think. Like UAE has now the 7 Emirates. Europe has now the Europe zone. So, you know, you don't need to have your passport anymore to travel between countries and so on. So I think some development for sure we can see.
Yeah, I think there's a good spiritual awakening happening across the world right now. We definitely live in a primitive society, a very primitive society. There's a divine dichotomy where the greatest simplicity is actually the greatest complexity. And so if you look at these societies that we're in, America, the West, whatever, that are so complex, they're actually very primitive. Okay, we use toilets.
Right.
What are toilets? Toilets are not a positive. I use toilets, don't get me wrong, but how should man actually be going to the restroom? It's in the ground. It's not through a sewage system. It's not through sitting on a toilet that actually hurts your back, right? These are all things that destroy you. The 9-to-5 job where someone sits in a room that they consider civilized as compared to a job of a hunter in the jungle. Right? You're sitting there as a 9-to-5. You're destroying your body. You're not actually using your physical body. It's deteriorating every day because you're sitting for 10 hours a day. You're also staring at a computer screen for 10 hours a day. Okay, that's destroying your eyes. Instead of going and participating in shoes, what are shoes? Shoes disconnect you from the earth. The earth heals you, right? That you're wearing rubber shoes. These are all things created by what? The gluttony, the overindulgence of money, of food, of all these different things that we've considered the West as a positive, as a positive force in the world. I love the West. Don't get me wrong. Like this is where I grew up. This is what I've been taught. I use it for my work. But if you break it down, the greatest simplicity, the living in the ground, the waking up on the beach and participating in the nature, eating fruit from the trees. That's really how you should be living life. Yeah. We humans survive to like 70 now. Why? Because we destroy our bodies every day. You go, someone in like the Chinese Buddhist mountains, they're living till 120. Why? They wake up, they go for a walk every day. Okay, they eat fruits from the tree. They make their own milk. You know, like this is what life should be. Yeah. But instead we're cutting off half our lifetime. Why? Because we're primitive in the name of complexity.
Oh, so I think it's so interesting. All the insights, I think you mainly also gain through your trips, right? Because in a Western world, we have more, you know, those standards. But on the other side, when you now go to Afghanistan or some of the other countries, it's just different, you know, and shoes are, you know, people may, or in Africa, walk more barefoot than they have shoes on. And then you also were kidnapped, I think, for 17 days.
17 days.
And you experienced there, of course, many
It was
things.
the greatest blessing.
Really?
It was the greatest blessing.
Wow.
It's the best thing that ever happened in my life. Why? I was addicted to my phone beforehand, right? I'm addicted to my phone. Okay, I sit there all day, every day working. Okay, now I'm stuck in a room with no phone. What can I do? Okay, well, I can only pray, think, and work out doing push-ups. So I would do 500 push-ups a day, even with minimal food, minimum 400 to 500.
You can do some later. Yeah.
And the phone, I couldn't use the phone. Wow. Well, I'm addicted to my phone. It's heroin to me, right? It's my job. It's everything.
Dopamine, yeah.
Always looking at Instagram. Okay, now I'm stuck without it. I'm sitting on a couch, staring at a fence and a cement wall.
Wow.
And what does that do? Oh, I can survive. I can survive without my phone. Okay, now they give me my phone every day a little bit more and more. Why? Because we're becoming more friendly with them. Okay, they give me my phone at one point, and the guy who's supposed to watch over us is just texting his girl, not really looking at us. So I open Twitter. Okay, I open Twitter while I'm kidnapped. I see negative news and all these things. I'm like, okay, fuck that.
Sure. I don't
put my phone away.
Here we go.
You know, I'm
interesting. Wow. Interesting.
Put my phone away, so I close it. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm here, like it's peaceful.
Nice.
It's peaceful without this. I don't need this. You're forced to forget about it. Why? Because there's no point. I have to survive, right? And so I realized then I don't need this.
Nice.
And so that helped me. That helped me what? It also helped me notice the signs that God was putting in front of me. You know, it helped me notice that when it rained, these guys would run inside. Why? Because they're possessed. They're made of fire. They're possessed by demons. When it rains, these gangsters they would run inside. Yeah. Why? Because they believe, and their belief is so strong that the rain from God actually burns them. It puts their fire out. Sounds crazy, but it's real in a country called Haiti. Haiti is what? Hades in Greek, which is what? Hell. I was literally in hell. And so it was the greatest thing for me. Why? Because I chose to see it as a positive.
Right.
I didn't choose to see it as a negative. I looked for all the positive signs. I looked for where I reflected on it, and I started writing about it in my book, and I saw even more signs. I spoke about it. I had time to analyze it.
Right.
And I saw all the positive things in it rather than what? Seeing the negative.
So many good insights for us CEOs. Number one, sometimes put your phone away. I think for everyone who's listening, and just understand the moment better.
Yeah.
Of course, the second thing also to look in, sometimes in the positive way. Everything that happens can also take as an advantage. I think that's such an important message. You know, when something's happened to you, you say, "Oh, the world goes down. I don't have my phone anymore." But later on, it was the best thing that happened to you.
Can I tell you the most important line
Please.
that changed, that helped me, and I still use it every single day? There's a line from the Emerald Tablets of Tahuti, of Thoth, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, 36,000-year-old ancient scriptures. And there's a line that says, "Listen, O man, and heed ye this wisdom. Even as darkness, so is the light. When darkness is banished and all veils are rendered, out there shall flash from the darkness the light." Okay, what does this line mean? Even as darkness, so is the light. So as much darkness there's also light. That's the law of pairs. That's natural law. That's something we all understand, cold and hot. Right. When darkness is banished and all veils are rendered. So when you say bye-bye to the darkness and you take the mask off, out there shall flash from the darkness the light. So what you're perceiving as darkness, you can also perceive as light.
Wow.
But you're choosing to see it as darkness. Okay, well, what about when someone dies? Okay, yeah, like that sucks. Why? Because you're seeing it as darkness. And it does suck. You're losing a loved one. You think everything is going wrong in your life. Stop for a moment. Figure out the positive in it. It's the same thing as one man's trash is another man's treasure. It's just labeled it's written in a more eloquent way.
Yes.
Right? It's the same thing as you can choose to see things as positive or negative. It's the same thing, but it actually breaks it down in a very eloquent and wise way. And that line I apply to everything negative in my life. Everything I see as negative, when I saw that line, it struck me. I memorized it, and I use it for everything now. Something negative happens to me, I'm like, fuck. Okay, no. Something good will happen out of this. My Taliban series, the week before it happened, my guide canceled. The same day, a guy pops up on my feed who's an Afghanistan tour guide holding an AK-47. It was like him canceling was a positive. Why? Because God put this guy on my feed, and now I know this series is going to be sick. And it was.
Wow.
It was way better than what the other guy could have gotten me. And so these are all things that I could have sat there and dwelled on it.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, this sucks. Yeah. No, but instead I was like, no, this is going to be amazing. And that whole thing shifted the vibe of the whole. Imagine I went in there where the negative.
Absolutely, yeah. No, my mom always says, there's nothing negative that happens to you that you could not turn around into something positive. So seeing that, I think, is such a game changer. But then you were kidnapped for those 17 days. They were asking for $600,000. Your brother, who I actually know as well from another side, because shout out, greetings. He's running.
Shout out to Eddie Maalouf, Bad Marketing.
Hi, Eddie. Bad Marketing is his company. And I met him on an event where he was speaker, I was speaker, and I really got along with him as well. And then you said, "Oh, this is my brother," and he had to do all the negotiation, and he did an amazing job, by the way.
What a beast! What an absolute monster.
From $600,000 later, I think, to 5 or 10,
40,000. Yeah, he's the real warlord.
Yeah, but
my brother. Yeah.
And he went down to he said, "Oh, I only have 5," and then later it was 40. But I think How did you feel? Did you not also feel bad, like, about like him being in America and negotiation for you, and you said, okay, I put myself in a situation and he has to help me? Because I saw in the videos you sometimes said, okay, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, and I really felt you meant it.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I felt bad because I put my family through a lot.
Yeah.
But if you look at the positive of what happened, my family's bond was strengthened
Right.
in a way where we all had to come together. Every single family member, every single person was reaching into all the connections they had across the world. It was a sign of unity. Okay, and in the long run, sure, my brother's company suffered because he spent 17 days throwing away all his consulting calls, losing hundreds of thousands of dollars, okay, having to put other people in charge of different things while he handled and was on call for these kidnappers to call him. But if you look at the butterfly effect, the positive butterfly effect of what happened after, he's got so much respect now amongst the business space. There's people, we've heard, back end stories of people, massively successful people talking about how he negotiated me out. That's another level of respect. When you're going to hire a salesman or a guy to do your marketing, and you hear that this guy negotiated his brother out of a kidnapping, that's a butterfly effect that's going to create so many positive relationships in the future just out of respect. So, yeah, it was negative if you choose to dwell on that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't choose to dwell on that.
Yeah.
I know people who have chosen to dwell on that, okay? I know, for example, I love my mother, but my mother likes to dwell in the fear, right? I put her through a lot. She spent her whole life raising us. At some point, you kind of have to let go, right? If I listened to my mother always, I'd still be in my room. I'd never have traveled the world. I'd never have gone to all these places and been able to experience and learn from all these places. And so my mom will call me when I'm with the Taliban, and she'll see them with me, and she'll have a heart attack. She'll go, "Leave, please, now." I call my dad. My dad is dying laughing. Wow. He's like, "Wow, this is my son.
Yeah.
I raised him and now he's flourished. Now he's blossomed." And so
so you really have the both sides in you as well.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
But what was the moment where you said, shit, this is serious. This is like, damn, like this gets now really tough.
Yeah, they had put us in the car, and they
so there was a police
no police
stop, but
there was fake
it was
police.
A fake police, so they had the uniform on, and you stopped.
But we didn't know it was fake police until
course.
we got kidnapped.
Yeah, and then they said, "Come with us."
Yeah,
and then
8 guys, they pull up on the with AKs. They throw us in a room for 3 hours, and we spend 2 hours having to talk our way out, gaining love with them, with the warlord, making them laugh. Yes. Laughter is the best medicine, and it's the best uniter. Yeah. Why? Laughter is love.
True. Yeah.
Laughter is pure love.
Yeah.
And so the moment that I knew for sure we were kidnapped was when they're driving us into the desert, and they look at me and they go, "Blanc," which means white boy in French. Blanc, we like you. I was like, "Well, if you like me, why are you kidnapping me?" And they go, "Well, if we didn't like you, you'd have a bag over your head and we'd have beat the shit out of you."
Wow.
Like, okay, that's the moment. This is real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
And so from there, it was just also pure positivity, right? They've told me they like me. They've told me keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. That's the confirmation.
Right.
And so just keep being positive.
Yeah. Good. I think it's an interesting learning for really getting the senses about the situation and your opposite side as well to understand. And that's why I know you personally, you would never drink normally beer or something, but in this situation you did it.
Yeah, exactly.
You got the senses. It would be wrong to say
you have to participate.
Yeah. But of course you still have your border. If they would give you other drugs or whatever, you would say, guys.
No, they did. They offered me the shitty weed that they had. Yeah. I said no. Yeah. And they were okay. I had already accepted the cigar and the beer.
So exactly. So when you go a certain way, you still can show a borderline. I think
accept the things that aren't going to kill you.
Yeah.
So that you can say no to the other things. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Such a learning in business as well. So what else can we learn from business?
Well, I also have a company.
What one more question about is how important is attention marketing for CEOs? So because you're now really in the game, and we have Richard Branson, who flew with, I think, skydiving down and did lots of attention. You also have others, Mr. Musk, who also has a lot of attention marketing. What about this? How important is it for CEOs, and how do they manage that best?
In what way? Elaborate more about this
That let's
attention
say
marketing.
Elon Musk or Richard Branson, that they do certain extreme things to get the attention, and by that be also like the forerunner of the company. You know, to be the face of the company, that they also kind of seek a bit of attention. Because before, CEOs used to be quite quiet. So there are still many companies you don't know who is the CEO. But now you have more. Also, God bless Steve Jobs. But also, you know, so you really know the CEOs become like the center a bit as well. The vision, the man behind it.
I think something most successful businessmen understand is that you don't invest in something. You're normally investing in a person. You really
Right.
want to win, you invest in the person. And so if you've got a person who you know, okay, when Elon Musk does something, are you going against him? I'm not going against him. I
For
know he's going to
sure.
succeed.
Yeah.
Why? He's done PayPal, he's done Tesla, he's done Twitter, he's done SpaceX. He doesn't fail. There's no such thing as failure. What you might consider a drop in the stock 50%, he considers a moment to figure out what the next step is, right? And so with that, I mean, when you have so much attention on Elon Musk or someone like that, it's you're following along who they are. I don't invest in Elon Musk companies because I care about the company. Most of the time, I'm investing in Elon Musk companies
Right.
because it's fucking Elon Musk, right?
Absolutely. That's what I mean. And this is the attention marketing also when he says, okay, Dogecoin, he mentioned it.
But he's authentic,
Yeah.
right? He's authentic. Okay, yeah, sure, things might happen behind the scenes that you don't know about, but that's the same with everything. You can't focus on the negative. Focus on, okay, compare him to other people who you can read. If you're authentic, you can also see if someone's authentic or not. It's not difficult to tell if someone's lying, right? You look at the eyes, you can see the soul, right? So these things are very important, that if you're a CEO and you're making content, just be authentic. A lot of CEOs are trying to game the system. They're trying to create some sort of like okay, well, I got to say this because this is what goes viral. And no, just be authentic. If you're building a company, surely you have knowledge that people want. So just give them the knowledge, be authentic.
Do you think for CEOs it's quite important nowadays to go out there as well with their face, with their personality, to show also a little bit behind the scene? Who is the CEO of, of Coca-Cola,
Yeah.
of Apple, of the big companies?
I think the spectrum is very versatile. I think you can show behind the scenes if you want to create that kind of content. I think you can show who you are at home. It comes down to what level of grass you want people watching you. Now, here's the thing. There's an evil eye that comes with putting content out.
Of course.
You
There's
know,
always
and it's the same reason why I probably won't want my wife to be part of the content, even though I do travel content, even though she'll be with me. I don't know how much I'm going to want her in it. Why? I've had to read hundreds of thousands of hate comments about me, about who I am. If you don't have a strong core foundation, that affects you. That changes who you are, right? You're constantly reading. My whole life, I had to read thousands of comments on live stream. You know, I had to read YouTube comments. It's not until recently that I've stopped caring. And so that's a very negative evil eye that will plant things into your subconscious. So you also do got to be careful what you show as a CEO. If there was something that I'd say show, it'd be who your authentic self is while you build the business. Now,
yes.
Also be careful. Maybe you don't want people knowing your business secrets. Maybe you don't, I don't know what it is, but whoever's watching, they have to decide what level of.
True. And if they like the person or not. But how do you see, let's say, the CEO culture and also branding culture between the USA and the Middle East? Because you know both sides.
Yeah, the Middle East is more about helping each other.
Mm-hmm.
The West is more about keeping everything I have secret.
Wow.
And not assisting. Middle East, you call anyone. Yeah, I know a guy. He's the owner of this. I got you. He'll hook you up, bro. Like it's all love.
Yeah.
It's all love. Why? Well, it's a Islamic based culture, and the Islamic based cultures are very powerful for a reason, that they have hasanat. Hasanat is what? Hasanat is a religious teaching by the Prophet Muhammad, which is essentially good karma. Why? Because, well, they believe in hell, right? And hasanat is essentially points that you get for doing good deeds. And it allows you, the more hasanat you have, the higher you get in the afterlife. I don't believe in hell. So the concept that I see with that, with the hasanat, is essentially just doing good, showing love, being positive, okay, and spreading that good karma.
Yeah.
It'll come back to you. There's an abundance mindset out here, right?
And
That's why it's so powerful in these Islamic
absolutely.
places, because they're also stuck to their deen. They do the 5 prayers a day. You hear the azan at 5 a.m.
Yeah. I think that's so deep, because I think it's so important sometimes also to look behind and see the bigger picture and the entire family. When I came 17 years ago to Dubai, then the local says, before we started to do any business, let's go out for a shisha at night.
Yeah.
And the first question was always like, how's your family? And it was really like, and I, at the beginning, I thought, okay, why do they talk about, so much about my family, what's going on?
Because they're investing in the person.
Yes, exactly. It's about a relationship between two couples.
Right.
And the relationships that has been established are stronger than anything ever I can imagine in the Western world.
Right.
Because, in good and in bad times. And I met that during COVID. I met that during other times. I said, no, we are family, Michael. And I think that's so deep.
Yeah, and it just comes down to treating people well.
Yeah.
It's the same core message of this entire conversation.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, treat people well, but it's defined in so many ways.
Absolutely.
Right?
True.
Like these guys define it as a points that you get in heaven. The Hindus define it as good karma.
Yeah.
It's
good point. But I think that really brought it to the point: treat people well. Your internal stuff and also your external environment. And I always say, when your employees fall in love with your company, then your customer fall in love with your company too. So I think it's really about that. And Starbucks, for example, is a good example, I believe, because they treat their employees on average extremely well with health insurance, with benefits.
Oh, do they?
They do. And you really feel that people like to spread the laws forward.
Yeah, it's funny because they get a lot of shit. I mean, even we'll get some shit for this, because I have a lot of Arab viewers be like, oh, Starbucks.
I think
you should be
in a way.
you should be boycotting.
Yeah.
It's like, what has that done? It doesn't do anything. It's coffee.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Let's talk at the end a little bit about your future and what can we expect and things from you. So I know you're writing a book, and I know you're fearless.
Yeah, so I'm writing a book and I'm building a company right now. I'm building a streaming platform for
the agency you want to talk about. Yes.
Yeah, I'm building a streaming platform called Taboo.
Nice.
Taboo TV. It's not a porn site. It's a travel, adventure, and journalism site. So I'm one of the most demonetized creators in the world that isn't fully demonetized. I'm very good at riding the edge. Why? I don't want to get banned, but I need to push the narrative. I need to push that free speech narrative. What I document is humanity. I'm going to the Taliban and I'm hanging out with them from a perspective of life. I'm not calling them terrorists like I've been taught in America, right? Okay, well, why is that bad? Why is that something that I can't show to the world? It's only a positive message. It's promoting that, okay, you can come here, you can eat their food, which is what? It doesn't have GMOs in it. It's fresh food. I had raw butter for the first time with them. Amazing. Tastes like ice cream, right? Mm-hmm. Why can't I go and show their culture in a positive way? And I'm going to get demonetized on YouTube for that? I think that's what real journalism is. I don't think real journalism is going with a specific bias and having a interview with someone that's trying to paint them purely as negative. No, sure, you can ask those tough questions, but real journalism, especially in these places that are untapped by society, real journalism is going and understanding their culture by being part of it. Okay, well, that's getting demonetized and hit on YouTube. I'm not allowed to make money off of that, even though I have to spend tens of thousands to make it happen. Okay, then what's the solution? I built a website called Arab Uncut. Arab Uncut, people would subscribe. 650,000 people we got in 4 months. People would subscribe to watch my videos. Okay, so then we made it paid. Okay, a bunch of people subscribed to watch the paid stuff, uncensored and extended. All these other YouTubers are now getting hit. Why? Because censorship's getting worse. All these other YouTubers need a platform, but they're going to Patreon. Patreon is a shit platform. It's the UI sucks. It's not built for a proper mobile app for users. It's not fun for the user to use. It's not an experience. Mm-hmm. So I built the experience. As a lifelong content creator and consumer of applications in the internet, I built an experience. The experience is Taboo TV. Nice. Well, YouTube's kind of dead right now. It's very boring. Nobody wants to watch it. And the evolution of content is now reality. Mm-hmm. People want to watch reality. People don't want to watch you faking a YouTube video anymore. The Mr. Beastification of YouTube is kind of dying. And so content, well, you go to YouTube, it's hard to find a good video. Fuck it. Let's open Taboo TV on our Google TV, on our Apple TV. Bang. So now I've built that platform. I'm going to bring in all these other travel and adventure creators. I'm the first one, but I've already have the proof of concept. I'm going to bring them all in one site. You can watch the craziest raw adventures, uncensored. You want to watch chicken fights in Dominican, which is real.
It happens every day.
You want to watch goat fights in India.
Yeah.
You want to watch a cannibal tribe in Papua New Guinea. All these will be available there. Okay. Not only that, 2-3 years later, once we have a good base of travel and adventure, we'll bring on the best food creators in the world. It'll be one platform for everything considered taboo, but it's not taboo. It's there to unite humanity. It's there to show you that this is real. Learn from it. Apply it to your life in whatever way you want. And, keep watching. It's an entertainment platform. And so that's Taboo. That's one venture. And then the other venture is Fearless. I'm writing a book. Fearless is my book. You call it Fearless or you can call it Fearless. But it's a book about my adventures from the Mexican cartel to the Brazilian gangs to being kidnapped in Haiti to the spiritual warfare that I was going through to the spiritual warfare occurring in front of our daily lives, to the acceptance that I don't believe in hell anymore. So you can see the whole evolution of a man in one book in 1 year. It starts kind of egotistical. It starts by me teaching people how to survive, how to not die, right? So the book is first like how I socially engineer my way around these places. And then halfway through the book, actually towards the beginning, like 30% of the book, you see the flip. You see me go from, okay, none of this was actually me. This was God working through me through love. And I hadn't seen it.
Wow.
I thought I was socially engineered. I thought I was a badass.
Yeah.
Right. But no, I realized after that it was all actually love. So the book starts with teaching you how to not die.
Yeah.
But by the end, it teaches you how to live. And living through love, through abundance, through these kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can see the whole deconstruction of my beliefs throughout the book.
Yeah.
Like there's literally one chapter where I talk about how real the devil is. And then there's another chapter where I talk about how the devil's all in your head, right? Why are Chinese demons, why do they look different than American demons? Why do they look different than Japanese demons? Right. Because we've been taught what that is.
True. Yeah. So interesting. So I think it's really like taking the journey can really exponential build your growth in your mindset and everything, and you're the most wonderful example for that. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you.
It has been such an honor to talk about risk assessments for CEOs, turning chaos into strategy, how to manage public relations in a way, staying relevant. So it's so many insights and nuggets. Thank you so much. It has been an honor.
Thank you. It's been an honor as well.
Thank you, my friend. Before you go, a quick note to all the entrepreneurial listeners out there. If you're looking for a reliable and efficient way to scale your online business and payments, I highly recommend checking out Copecard.com. It's designed to streamline your processes from payment processing to customer management, all in one platform. Whether you're just starting out or you're looking to scale up, Copecard provides the tools you need to succeed. Visit Copecard.com today and see how it can transform your business operations. Dive in and start optimizing your sales processes now.